honor and privilege to introduce our guest speaker. And I want to, first of all, talk about him a little bit. He's a good friend of mine. He was a police chief in Emerson for many years. He became the Bergen County Sheriff, one of the highest elected positions in law enforcement, some 6 years ago. 6 years ago, Sheriff? And has served 2 terms already, and he's in his road for his 3rd term. And there's no one better to run the law enforcement operation in this county than my good friend, and I want to introduce him at this time, Michael Sordino.
Good afternoon, everyone. Bobby, thanks for your kind words. As the chief said, we kind of go way back. We were chiefs together. Of course, I know your mayor here also, Mayor White, also a friend for a long time. Just real quick, a little bit about myself. I know I look young, but I'm actually the grandfather of law enforcement in this county. I just started my 45th year in June, spending 38 years with the Emerson Police. The last 9 I was chief of police, and then did a crazy thing like run for sheriff. No, I say that with a lot of pride. I'm very proud to be the sheriff. I won my 1st term. And I think Bobby, and both Bobbies can relate to this. I know what the chiefs of police and the police departments in Bergen County need. And you know, we're 605 people in the sheriff's office. We have the resources, and we do go and help in every one of the towns. We now oversee the bomb squad, the K9, all the dogs, which are doing a fantastic job in this county, sniffing out drugs. Every night they're getting called, and the dogs have that nose. If there's drugs hidden in that car, they're going to find it. And every night there are arrests being made because of these dogs getting called out. And we're working well together. I think, if I could brag a little bit, I think the relationship between the sheriff's department and the chiefs and the local police departments is the best it's ever been. And I vow that as long as I'm sheriff, it'll always stay that way. I guess I could talk about my biggest, what I hope my legacy is going to be, because it's been talked about for 50 years, and last year it was finally done. Now the Bergen County Police are now under the sheriff. We saved $3 million last year. There'll be more savings as more officers retired, and importantly, we did it without any of them losing a job. I did not want anyone to lose their job. You know, they were dedicated officers, and through retirements, we'll get down to a number, probably get 35 or 40 of them, even less, and there'll be more of a savings each year. But you may think that because there's a savings, there's less service. I can tell you, quite honestly, you're getting better service because it's just a better utilization of both agencies with manpower deployed all over this county. I talked about the canines. Both the Bergen County, the former Bergen County PD, and the sheriffs had canines. Now it's one, and it comes under one control, and we schedule shifts where we have dogs geographically in this county on all shifts. So now when a department needs a dog, boom, they're pretty close by. I guess the other thing, and when I was chief of police, the biggest thing is my officers used to call me Scrooge, because when it comes to tax dollars, I am very, very strict on any waste of taxpayers' money. I'm a resident of this county. I know what we pay in taxes in all of our towns, and it's tough. It's tough. Proudly, I made record cuts my 1st year in office and continue to make cuts. As a matter of fact, last year our overtime was the lowest it's been in 10 years from prior sheriffs and all, and I'm kind of proud of that. It may sound like not much, but we're talking millions of dollars. The 1st year of the former Bergen County Police Department under my command, last year we cut their overtime by 1/3. And that'll be even less this year because we're learning more and more about that agency. Real quick, you know, in Emerson, when I was a chief, I had a very close relationship with the seniors. I owned a deli in Emerson also, believe it or not, as being a policeman. And I started a ziti meatball dinner for the seniors. I went to the chief then and said, how about we do this? I'll cook it at my deli and we'll serve. And I'm very glad that the chief who replaced me there, they still do that. But I'm looking in the audience here, and I asked the president of the Emerson Seniors, why is this? Why are there 10 times more women than men in the room. And she said, quite honestly, because we drive the men crazy and they don't last long. I'm looking in here and it's like, I can count on 3 fingers how many men are in here, but the ladies, there's plenty of them. Somebody else got to take your pick. Well, I'm old enough now that I contemplated, I just turned 65, I contemplated joining the Emerson Seniors, but when my schedule allows, right now things are too busy. A lot of things going on in the world today, craziness. Right here in our county, you know, there's been, and Saddlebrook has been a victim of this, of phony bomb scares and things of that nature. You know, it's costing us a lot of money and resources and overtime to send people out because there's a lot of kooks in the world, but, you know, professionally we have to respond to every single call. Police cannot take things, it's just another bomb threat. No, that's not it. Saddlebrook PD will send all their resources. If they call us, we will send all of ours. So, you're very fortunate, residents of Bergen County, because you have, I won't say some of the best, you have the best police protection in Bergen County, starting from your locals to the Bergen Prosecutor's Office and to the Bergen Sheriff. You have a group of committed men and women from all agencies of law enforcement in this county that are dedicated to serve you folks. And you know, we appreciate, lately it's been a lot of, hey, thank you for what you do. With the police officers that have been shot and killed lately, there's been a lot of that going around. And it's, you know what, once in a while I'll tell you cops that you appreciate what they do, because I know when I'm told, it really makes me feel good. I've been getting emails and texts from clergy people and from private citizens, and it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling to know that our efforts are appreciated. Anyone have any questions this afternoon? I'll gladly, don't be shy. Yes, sir.
But how come you can't trace the phone number that they give you?
Let me tell you this. We're talking about bomb scares. All right, I received a bomb threat that we were going to bomb Sheriff Sordino's house, and they gave my address. And believe me, the FBI and the prosecutors, computer crimes, are working on these things. But look at our national security was compromised before, what was it? Not Facebook. What was the company? They wouldn't release the information. It's crazy. It's crazy. There's so much protection. And Apple, yes, thank you very much. I mean, how nuts is that? That our security in this country has been compromised or been threatened, and they won't release records of where it's coming from. But sadly today, there's ways of sending an email and making it look like it's coming from somewhere else. And they just become untraceable. The only thing I can tell you, do not send 1 penny to any organization that calls you on the phone. And I'm saying be nice to the cops. There are so many phony companies out there saying we're on behalf of the policemen or the send us a donation. Do not. Just say, you know what, thank you, have a nice day, and hang up the phone. Well, listen, Google today, and you know what, it's sad. I mean, progress they call it, the internet and everything else, but there's so many downsides of the technology today, you know, that it's a real quick story. We had a person call, a resident of Hackensack called us and said they received a call saying it was a major from the Bergen County Police Department. First of all, we don't have that rank, major, in our sheriff's office. The phone number came back to a sheriff's department phone number. And it told this party that you're in contempt of court, you didn't answer a warrant. If you don't send us $1,000, we're coming to arrest you. The poor person sent $1,000. So my detectives jumped on that, and this is how crazy this is. Between the prosecutor's office and our department, and actually helped with the FBI, we actually traced it, that this call was coming from a jail in Georgia. Coming from a jail in Georgia, it was a correction officer, which is a private down there, and it's not like, you know, here it's law enforcement. Private correction officer and an inmate were in cahoots. And we actually went to Georgia and brought them back, and I believe they're still in our jail. The good thing about that, it solved 12 cases in 12 other states. That's how big this was. That they would, you know, it's just unbelievable what they can do. like I said, when they called this woman, the return number on the caller ID was actually a number from our sheriff's office. So it's difficult. The only advice, hang up, tell them have a nice day, or don't have a nice day, whatever mood you're in that day, but don't send a dime. Don't send a dime. If the PVA wants something, you know what? Your PVA reps, officers you know, will come to you and ask you. You know, we're having a fundraiser or this or that. Yes?
Yeah, but when I was scammed, they called me back. They wanted me to go get the money and they called, you know, they would call me back at a certain time. So when they called me back, I knew it was a scam. I told somebody, try somebody else. You scammed the wrong guy.
Yeah.
That's all I did.
That's all you can do. And it's sad that we can't just go and know where it's coming from and go lock their butts up. But, you know, like I say, as much as as high as the FBI's criminal crimes, computer crimes unit working on these cases, these bomb scares, and they've tracked it down. They actually arrested someone in France who was getting paid. In other words, you would call or tell this person, I want this person or this place sent with a phony bomb scare, and it was a business. But all indicators are for our bomb scares here, and there was a time, I think there was 9 towns hit at the very same time, the very same day. It affected 26 schools in the 9 towns, all called in together. The only good thing to you folks, I talked about how well law enforcement is. Well, that even exceeded our resources with our dogs. So I called the state police and Jersey City police. They sent their bomb dogs. And in 4 hours, all 26 schools were cleared so that they could resume their daily activities. So, anyone else have any questions? Yes, ma'am.
When I got a call from TVA, they said I had pledged an amount of money to send them.
Yeah.
I never pledged my money.
Yeah, tell them the only pledge you have is what you polish your furniture with. And hang up on them. All right? Yes, ma'am.
I have a question. What do you have to do to get a gun permit, and can you keep it on you at all times?
Well, to get a permit, you got to go to your local police department,
Local?
and you have to. Yeah. You have to, first, if you have nothing, you have to apply for what they call a firearms ID card. That gives you the right to buy pistols or rifles. Rifles, you get as many with the firearms ID card. Pistols is a separate permit for each and every handgun that you might want to buy. But listen, it's a good idea, but it's not a good idea, because you live alone?
No.
No. Because there's stories of, you know, people who have guns, and a lot of times it's people in their later years, someone breaks in a house, and he'll pull the gun, and he'll overpower you, and use that gun on you. You know, you're scared out of your wits, and, you know, like this.
I
So,
generally don't scare that easy.
no, huh? All right.
They get scared
You
of
got me scared right now.
I even scared my...
You're scaring the hell out of me right now, I gotta tell you that.
My public service man jumped over my bushes and said to my husband, "What's the matter with her? Did she have any problems?" And my husband says, "No, but you have to be very careful when you deal with her."
I see that. Once in a while, toughness is all right. Someone else had a question. I saw it. Was a hand raised? Yes, sir.
Well, I'm a senior, right?
Yes.
So I'm probably the target for scammers. So I thought about this and I said to myself, maybe the solution you probably don't agree with. Whenever I get a phone call, I don't answer it. I do not answer any phone calls I get. Now, my daughters call me, they'll text me, so we're in contact with each other. Now, if I don't pick up that phone, I'm not a target of a scam. I don't know what it's all about. Now, why do I get calls from Washington, D.C., from Florida, California? These are all potential scams.
Yes.
I don't answer it, so I'm not a target. Case closed.
You have caller ID, you know? That's the best thing. If you don't recognize the number, let them leave a message.
Exactly. If they don't leave a message, it's not important. Don't waste my time.
I think, with you folks too, I think house phones are kind of like obsolete today. Everyone has a cell phone. Every call comes in on cell phones today. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, they've started now to start soliciting on the cell phones, I know. Again, it's called progress, the technology progress, but it's,
A couple of years ago, back in March of 2014, I started getting these calls, and I was answering them. And they're not even 800 numbers. There's 201-973-609, and you're getting them, and I have friends down the shore with the 609. I have family 973, so you never know who it's gonna be. So I start writing them down. As of March 14, 2014 to today, I've got over 550 calls.
well, listen, it's coming around to election season. With a presidential election and Congress and constitutional officers, freeholders and locals, your phones are gonna be ringing off the walls with robocalls. They're gonna be crazy
Where
with
does
that.
unavailable phone calls come from?
I'm sorry?
Unavailable phone calls come
You know what, they come from anywhere. I told you, someone used our actual number to make it look like it was coming from our office on a scam. How they, we're honest people. A lot of the stuff, we don't know how they're doing it. You know? You have,
I just wanted to ask, there is that number that you call to block. Do you have to do that every year? Have they upgraded that or?
you know what? Any, Senator Brook, I don't have the answer to that question, quite honestly.
I'm registered with them, and I keep getting calls.
Still yes.
So I have to call every year, they says, no, you're permanently registered, you're registered to run on file, but I still get all the calls.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering, do you have to call many times? Do we know?
Apparently, if it's not working the first
Yeah,
time, but
because I do that, but I still get new calls, and I get new different. I didn't know if it was.
quite honestly,
You know, they go right around, I get waves around.
95% of the calls I get on my cell phone. I have a phone at home with an answer machine, I have the caller ID. If I don't recognize the number of who it is, I don't answer. Let them leave a message or let them, let them ring.
But it's the 201 numbers that they call on that you answer because you think it's somebody that.
No.
On the caller ID, they'll have 201, but doesn't it normally have a name also? It gives both.
Sometimes.
It says unavailable.
Yes, that's what yeah.
Yeah, how long do the bomb sniffing dogs and dope dogs last before they take them out of commission?
You know, it varies. It's just like the human body. When things medically go wrong with the dogs are very well taken care of. The handlers take them home. Even if a dog should be retired, we, out of our budget, still pay for any medical expenses for that dog until it's expired. So we, of course, listen, they're expensive. There's a lot of money that's put into them in training. So of course, we do whatever we have to do to keep them going. But it varies, just like with humans, different illnesses will hit the dogs.
And are the German Shepherds from Germany, or are they our dogs in America?
A lot of them are from Germany,
A lot of them?
yes.
And are they trained in the German language?
Well,
Not just German.
you know about the German language? I had a boxer who got tutored by a German, and Platz would mean lay down. Platz. But no, they have to go by the commands of our American handlers, so they're trained by our handlers.
Do they ever take them away from one policeman and give them off to another
No, they're part of that family,
for the rest of their life as long as they exist?
yes.
I know a man who had one of the first canines in Bergen County, I'm sure you know him, I told you his name. That family loved that dog so much, and when the dog was time to retire, they just took it home with them.
Well, that's what we do, we allow them to take them as pets, and it's only right. They're given an allowance, of course, for the food and all that they have to spend. We have a kennel behind the jail that if the family goes on vacation, we can kennel them and take care of the dog for a week, 2 weeks, whatever. We also offer that to there are a few towns, not many left, but there are a few towns in Bergen that have canines, and we'll watch their dogs for them also if the officers go on vacation. Yes, sir.
How do they get your name?
I'm sorry?
How do they get you and know some information on you?
I'm sorry,
From Google.
How do they get your name and know you as a grandson or son or whatever?
when I got the call,
No, when they they call us up and get scammed.
Listen, they could Google lists, you know, I mean, even if you're unlisted in the phone book, today, Google yourself, go, you have a computer? Do you have a computer?
Yes.
Just go home and Google your own name, see what comes up, it's just unbelievable. It's
The only way I know it, I caught this guy pretty quick, because I asked him, what's his name? He said the name, and then when he got off, and he said if they were gonna call me back, I called my other grandson to find out how he's doing. He told me he's working. So I knew right then when they called me back, that it was a scam, although I believed it from the beginning.
How many Jerry Seinfeld buffs we have in the room? Anybody? You recall the episode where Jerry picks up the phone and it's I guess a canvasser, and he goes, "I'm busy right now, why don't you give me your number and I'll call you at home." And of course he doesn't, he goes like, so Jerry goes, "Well, I guess you don't want anybody calling at your home, right?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, that's the way I feel," and he hung up the phone. So it's a Seinfeld episode. Yes?
I got scammed through the computer in my bank accounts for $8,000. So when I went to the bank, of course, I'm really upset. And I said, "How could they do this?" And they said, "Barbara, if they can get into the computers in the Pentagon, who are you?"
Did the bank cover you or you lost that?
No, they covered it.
Yeah. Sadly, with your credit cards, you know, the minute you lose it, you call them, let them know. There's all kinds, you know, it's sad with the world. Nobody wants to work for a living anymore. Everybody wants to be a con artist and take advantage of other people. Kind of sad. But that's it? Tough lady, no more questions. No? All right. I'm going to give you my number. You call me direct if you have any problems. I'd just like to thank you for your time. Thank you so much.